Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I am Robert from Jobs 180. So I will be hosting the program for today. So this is Jobs 180's Marketing Me Live. So usually we do this school campus physically, but of course, given the current circumstances, we decided instead to do this online. But dahil nga online siya, we chose to capitalize by inviting other representatives from other companies. So they will be coming, they are part of the speakers to share their area of expertise. Okay? So well, first, thank you. Thank you to everyone viewing right now, everyone na rin that will view later since this will be recorded. Thank you as well sa aming school partners, sa representatives from our school partners. I know that you helped us na mag-invite ng students and alumni from your schools. And well, this wouldn't be a good program, effective, if it weren't for you inviting them. So, based from the mga nag-pre-register, actually maraming schools ang interested. I'd just like to name a few. So, merong Access Computer College, ACLC College, Adamson University, AUP, Aklan Academy, AUF, Apex Schools, APC, ACTEC, AICS, Ateneo de Naga, Bataan Peninsula State U, Batangas State U, Viscas, Bicol University, Bulacan Agricultural State College, Bulacan State U, Cagayan de Oro College, Camarines Sur Polytechnic, Canosa College, Capiz State U, Cavite State U, Cebu Tech University, CLSU, PEU, City University of Pasay, Colegio de Montalban, Colegio de San Juan Letran, Colegio de Sebastian, CSCB. Kung napapansin nyo, medyo inihingal na ako kasi ganyan kayo karami na nag-pre-register from all the schools. So thank you very much. There are more schools. I will be mentioning them later. And anyway, thank you again for coming here, for pre-registering, and then hopefully you are viewing right now kasi nag-pre-register kayo. So hopefully you're here right now para rin makita namin. Would like to request, viewers, please comment yung inyong name, course, school, and year that you graduated or year kung kailan kayo graduate. So we just want to know you better. Gusto namin malaman kung yung nag-pre-register, dumating ba today. So yes, again, comment your name, school, course, year you graduated. So yun, pa-comment na lang sa ating comment box para makilala namin kayo. So before we continue with our program, I would just like to invite you to join us for a quick prayer. Okay, so just a few more announcements. On August 20, we have another talk, this time with different topics. So you are invited again to join us. Invite your friends as well. Kasi series of videos to, this is not a one-time thing. So August 20, that is a Thursday. 2 weeks from now, please join us again. And as mentioned earlier, please comment your name, school, and if may time, course na rin and year that you will graduate or be graduating. Okay, so now I will show you the list of our topics that we will encounter today. So number one is we have online applications, two, work from home jobs, three, expectations in the new normal, and four, industry forecast post-pandemic PH. So basically, I will be introducing our speaker for every talk. And then anytime sa nagtotalk si speaker, comment nyo ang inyong questions. Binabantayan siya ng aming team, comment nyo lang siya. And then at the end ng talk, we will have a brief Q&A, question and answer, babasahin ko para ma-address ng ating speaker. Okay, so let us move on to our first topic. So I will be introducing our first speaker. Our speaker has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, project management, business process, human resources, recruitment, and management. He graduated from De La Salle University, Manila, with degrees in BS Applied Economics and Commerce, major in Marketing Management. He has done over 1,000 career development seminars in more than 400 colleges and universities nationwide. So I would like to call the Managing Director of Jobs 180, Mr. Kim Chua, to please join us. Sir Kim?
Yes, hello.
Hello, Sir Kim.
Hi,
So
Sir
everything
Robert.
fine? Okay, sir. So I will be leaving you for you to do your presentation, and I will be coming back once you finish for our Q&A. Okay,
Okay,
sir.
yes. Salamat.
Okay, thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay.
I will be going
Magandang
backstage
hapon.
now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Magandang hapon to all of you. I am so overwhelmed. I feel so blessed that there's so many people listening, no, from north all the way to south. Ganyan karami yung mga school partners natin. In fact, kanina medyo napapangiti na nga ako nung nakita kong hindi ka pa tapos-tapos doon sa pag-roll call mo, no, Sir Robert. But anyway, mukhang marami pang to go for those who are listening out there. I already miss going to your schools. And so here we are right now sharing some other tips, no? Paano magiging useful ang inyong mga stuck at home at this moment, no, sa panahon ng pandemya. So today I'll be sharing with you ano ba yung mga tools na kailangan natin, 'di ba? In fact, when you go for online applications, because right now there's pretty much no other choice except to do online. So if you're going to do online application, do you have the right tool? Yan ang tanong. Kaya there are two things I want you to reflect on, no? One is let's talk about a checklist. Ano ba yung masasabi natin mga items na kailangan natin tingnan or alamin kung itong tool ba natin ang tamang tool for us to be using at this point in time. And the second one is I will walk you through later kung paano nyo po gagamitin, no, yung mga yung pag-maximize po ng pag-a-apply online. And that is through the virtual career fair. Okay? So, ito yung mga tanong ko parati sa mga nakikinig. Sagutin nyo na lang sa sarili ninyo. Una, sa panahon ngayon, sa dami na nag-a-apply, ang daming walang trabaho, do you want to stand out? Malamang ang sagot nyo, yes. But the question is, how? Second, do you keep more than one files? Meron ka bang file para sa personal information mo? May file ka pa ba para sa mga government IDs mo? Meron ka pa bang isang file kung saan doon mo tinatago yung mga portfolio nyo at iba pang mga information? If the answer is yes, I think it's time for you to think again. Because if you have so many files, mahirap siyang gamitin. It's best to only have one file and you put everything in. Another in the checklist. Pangatlo, pag nag-apply ka ba, ano yung pinakamabilis sa paraan para makapag-apply ngayon? Iyan ang isa-share ko rin sa inyo. That's part of the checklist that we need to look at. Okay? Isa sa mga importante sa mga pinag-uusapan ngayon, mga gastos. Even if we're stuck at home, di ba? Marami din sa atin, we're trying to manage our resources, our budget. So it's very important that we should not be continuously spending. Hanggat maaari, pa nag-a-apply, ano yung pinaka-matipid na paraan na at the same time, pinaka-effective din sa pag-a-apply. And that's also part of my checklist. Okay? At ito na yung huli sa checklist ko. Ang security ng information. I think everyone is very aware of the data privacy. Diba? Sa mga panahon ngayon, everyone's, worried about their information, lalo na kung online. So this is the ultimate question. Do you want your information to be secured? And I think your answer is yes. So for those who are, planning, ito yung meron ako napulot na kasabihan. Dati ko pa to naririnig and ngayon ma-apply natin. Sabi ng kasabihan, failure to plan is planning to fail. And so with that, you have to start with the right tool. So what is the right tool? When you go online right now, you go for resume link. Bakit resume link? Because resume link answers all those checklists, those in the checklist. Again, isa-isahin natin. Sa mga first time po ito narinig, ikukwento ko sa inyo anong resume link. Sa mga alam na po ito, marirefresh na lang po kayo at baka mapaisip kayo kung bakit kailangan nyo na mag-update ng resume link nyo. Okay? So what is a resume link? It's basically a personalized URL. It's a link that anyone can open online anytime. Okay? Provided alam nila yung resume link mo. Okay? So as an example here, ang resume link pwede maging johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. At yan na po ang inyong resume. Ayan na. Paano ka gagawa nito? Sabi ko nga sa inyo, isa sa mga factor natin, dapat tipid. Wala itong bayad. Libre po ito. How do you make one? You register. Okay? So how do you make one? You go to the website of jobs180.com. As you go to the website, you register, you put the basic information there. Yung mga information na kailangan ilagay sa isang normal na resume, of course, kailangan nyo ilagay rin dito because this is what you will be using. Now, in choosing a resume link, I recommend you use your name. You use your unique name. What is a unique name? Pangalan nyo. Whatever your name is, it will be a unique name. Example, pangalan mo, John Santos. Meron nag-register sa inyo na unahan ka ng John Santos. Ano pwede mo gawin? Pwede mong baliktarin. Gawin mong santosjohn.jobs180.com. Diba? Pwede ka rin magsabi ng J Santos o kaya Santos J. Depende sa ano yung gusto mong gamitin. But I recommend you stick to your name. Do not create something na kagaya ng mga ganyan. Yung mga masyadong OA or pa-cutie-cutie na hindi ito formal tignan when you apply to those companies. Okay? Then, as you register, you have to use a valid email. Emails like Yahoo or Gmail or any email na bubuksan ninyo kasi kailangan mo mag-verify ng account ninyo. Huwag kang gagamit ng @facebook.com na email. Because if you use yung @facebook.com na email nyo, hindi mo na mabubuksan yung mga pinapadala sa inyo ng mga notifications at the same time from Jobs 180 and also from the companies that you're applying to. Okay? So, to finish the first step, you need to verify. And as simple as clicking on the button, dun sa verify now button ng inyong email, tapos na po ang first step. Okay, now we go to the second step. Second step, I will just walk you through. This is very simple. You have to complete the information. And in doing so, you log into your account and put the necessary information. These are basic information that any HR will be looking at. So you have your contact details there. Lahat ng pwedeng paraan na makontak ka ng HR, ilagay ninyo. Pati mga social media account ninyo, ilagay nyo. Because I think that is the fastest way for anyone right now to get in touch with you. Other than your phone number and your email, you have your social media account. So might as well put it there. Put your work experiences, kung meron kayong work experience. Kung wala, okay, kung wala, maybe you can refer to your OJT. Okay, or yung mga summer job, part-time job, or any other mga naging totoong trabaho nyo rin before. Now, look at the screen. Meron po dyan nakalagay work options. Dito pa lang, pinapabilisan natin yung buhay ninyo. You can choose from different work options here. Like, if you're willing to relocate, if you want to, work overseas, if you want to work night shift, you can just choose yes or no. And the system will try to match you sa mga companies na ganun din yung profile na hinahanap. O, di ba? Mas mabilis yung proseso. Let me continue. Lagay mo yung school background nyo. Lagay nyo yung mga certification nyo. If you have achievements, you have your skills, you have languages that you have different languages that you can speak, Tagalog, English, or any other foreign languages or local dialect, put everything here. Okay? So, references is something that you have to make sure that you also have. So you can put it in your resume link. Now, isa sa pinakamagandang aspeto ng resume link is itong portfolio section. Ano ba itong portfolio section? Dito mo ilalagay ngayon yung mga ebidensya ng skills nyo. If you have mga documents na government IDs, meron kayong mga transcript of records, meron kayong mga ibang mga ebidensya na nagpapatunay na ito yung kaalaman nyo, ang recommend ko, ilagay nyo na lahat dito sa loob ng resume link. so that you don't need to have so many files. You just put everything here inside, consolidated na. Mabilis ang buhay. Okay? Isa sa mga nire-recommend ko rin na para mapabilis ang inyong proseso sa pag-a-apply at mabilis ang pag-screen ng isang HR, ng isang kumpanya sa isang aplikante is that you also create a selfie video. Selfie videos are so easy to create. You just get your smartphone. What do? You record the selfie video. Okay? You can say something interesting about yourself. You can do whatever you want there. You can basically present yourself to that company. Hindi kailangan mahaba. Ang kailangan lang dito, very short lang. You can maybe have a 30-second selfie video. Ang importante, napapakita mo ngayon kaagad yung mga hinahanap ng isang kumpanya. Ano nga ba hinahanap ng isang kumpanya? In the initial screening, usually, the HR or the company will be screening for your communication skills. So, huwag kayo mahiya. Hindi naman porkat sinabing communication skills, kailangan todo English. Diba? You can now speak kung saan ka komportable and you can do so with that selfie video. Okay? If you want to show other skills, you can also show it through that selfie video. You put your pictures here through the profile pictures, the profile photo, at paalala ko lang, huwag kayo gumawa ng mga profile pictures na kagaya ng mga pinapakita ko sa screen ngayon. Hindi po yan mukhang professional. Okay? At isa pang maganda na pwede nyo gawin is that you can also put here your cover photo for you to be able to express yourself better, not just with words, but also through pictures. Dahil hindi po lahat ng tao ay magaling sa kanilang pag-compose ng message. Hindi lahat magaling magsulat. Di ba? Pasintabi lang po sa matatamaan dyan. Pero may ibang tao, mas magaling sila mag-express through images or pictures. Kagaya na nakita nyo sa mga pina-flash ko sa screen. Now, careful lang din mga kaibigan. When you create your cover photo, do not overdo it or do not underdo it din. Okay? Ano yung mga pasasabi ko underdo it? Do not do something like this. Walang ulo, walang picture, malabo. 'Di ba? Ito yung mga pinapakita kong samples na talagang malabo. No, hindi lang mata yung malabo, minsan kayo rin malabo, 'di ba? So nasa tao rin ang malabo. Kaya importante po, you have to make sure that it is catchy. Not naman to the extent na ganitong klase yung pagiging catchy. Baka naman iba na yung maisip ng HR pag nakita niya ang ganitong mga cover photo nyo. Okay? So I recommend you make sure you complete the information just like what I'm showing you. Itong example na to, kumpleto lahat na detalye niya, nilagay niya lahat ng information, lalo na yung mga document na nagpapatunay ng kanyang mga skills. And that is what you also do to make that process more efficient. Okay. A lot of you are now thinking, Sir, nabanggit nyo kanina sa checklist nyo, secured by information. Ito na po ang pinaka-secured na tool ngayon in terms of keeping your information. That's why this was dubbed as the most secured tool in terms of keeping your own profile. Bakit siya pinaka-secured? Kasi kayo po ang may control ng inyong privacy settings. If you go to what I'm showing you sa screen, sa loob po ng inyong resume link na account, pwede mo pong piliin kung anong information ang gusto mo lang ilabas sa public. Halimbawa po, ayaw mo pakita ang birthday mo, what do? You turn it off. You don't want to show your address, you turn it off. You don't want to show your references, what do? You turn it off. So lahat na naka-off, hindi siya lalabas sa public at kayo po ang may control niyan. Ang maganda pa, real-time update siya. So if today, feeling mo, gusto mo pakita lahat, edi lagay mo lahat on. Bukas makalawa, meron ka ng trabaho, gusto mo na i-off, pwede rin. Real-time update, lahat ng merong resume links nyo, it follows, depende sa kung ano yung privacy settings nyo. Ayos ba? Okay. So reminder ko lang. Pag gumawa ng resume link, you have to make sure the information is complete. You have to make sure that you put significant information relevant to your skills. That's why there's a portfolio section there to help you out. Diba? At the same time, you have to make it interesting and attractive. Para pag nakita to ng HR, the moment they open your resume link, huli kagad yung attention and they now, diba, show you now get their interest for them to learn more about your profile. Okay? At higit sa lahat, you need to update it. Kasi pag hindi mo in-update yung information mo, sayang naman. By the time tatawagan kayo ng mga HR, hindi na kayo makontak. That's why I recommend lahat ng pwedeng paraan, ilagay nyo. Lahat ng pwedeng paraan na makontak kayo kagaya mga social media, ilagay nyo. Okay? So now let me go to how can you maximize this tool? You want to go online now. How can I use my resume link? In fact, the resume link can be used not just for one type of platform. Pwede mo to gamitin sa iba-ibang paraan. At dito ko na ipapasok ngayon yung virtual career fair. Dito sa step 3. You now submit your resume link. How do you do that? Punta ka ulit dun sa website ng jobs180.com. www.jobs180.com. At pagpunta mo dun, makikita nyo po maraming mga companies na sasalubong sa inyo. And those companies, I recommend explore. Okay? Explore na explore. Tignan nyo. Okay? Kung ano yung mga kumpanya na pwede nyo applyan, pwede nyo submitan ng resume link nyo, ibigay nyo lang ang inyong resume link because you never know. Opportunities are just there waiting for you. Huwag mahiya, no? Huwag mahiya mag-submit. Akala nyo, inisip nyo, huwag mahiya magtanong. Ganun din, huwag kayo mahiya magtanong, pero sigit sa lahat, huwag mahiya mag-submit. Because walang mangyayari pag hindi ka nag-submit. So you have to submit your information, your resume link to those companies. Okay? That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is by sending it through email. Marami sa inyo nagsasubmit ng resumes sa emails. Or maybe you already did it before. You have already submitted your resumes through emails. So how did you do that? Malaman, nag-type kayo ng inyong message. Dear HR Manager, my name is Kim. I would like to apply in your company. What happens next? You have to attach your document file, yung mga Word file or PDF file, which makes it inefficient and not secured. Remember that. Sa checklist na yon, hindi ko nire-recommenda ang mga Word file or mga PDF file or mga hard copies natin. Bakit? Kasi po, hindi siya secured. I'll tell you more about it later. Instead, ang gawin nyo, lagay mo na lang dito, I'd like to apply in your company. This is my resume. Put your resume link. Example lang, johnsantos.jobsunity.com and send it. As easy as that. And you can update it real time. Hindi mo na kailangan mag-email parate dun sa companies. Now, if ever lang may mga iba sa inyo dyan, gusto nyo talaga may hawak kayong papel, hard copies. Okay? Ang recommend ko, i-print nyo ang resume link nyo. Pwede rin po siya i-print. And this is how it would look like. So you just go to your account, okay? Punta kayo sa dashboard nyo at piliin mo yung print and you can now print your resume link. So it comes out as one page. Ayos? Eto pa, sa mga gusto mag-print, kung talagang hindi kayo mapaawat di ba? Hindi ko kayo maawat mag-print ng resume. Okay lang naman talaga kung gusto mo mag-print ng resume. But I do not recommend that you print the whole big paper na one whole page of resume. I do not recommend that. Instead, I recommend you print small pieces of papers called resume link card. Yan ang ibibigay nyo ngayon sa mga kumpanya. Okay? Bakit? Again, you go to the checklist. When you do this, una sa lahat, tipid. You don't have to spend a lot of money printing so many papers. Pangalawa, this is very cost efficient. Sa isang pirasong papel, marami ka ng maliliit na resume link cards na mapiprint at mabibigay sa mga kumpanya. O, di ba? Ayos? O, I'll show you more. Marami sa inyo po, mga nakikinig ngayon, meron na po kayong mga gadget. Okay? Meron kayong mga smartphones. At kung meron po kayong mga gadget at smartphones, gamitin nyo po yan sa panahon ngayon. Okay? Because take advantage of technology. Okay? Para mabilis ang buhay. Okay? At kung sakali lang talaga, iba sa inyo, react. Ay, sir, wala naman akong gadget. Sir, yung cellphone ko po, Jurassic pa, yung analog pa. Ano gagawin ko? Huwag kayo problema. You can also give your resume link just by simply writing it on a small piece of paper or the registration form ng mga kumpanyang ina-applyan nyo. Okay? So with that, let's look at these 4 items. Let's go to the checklist. Ano yung checklist natin? Are you using the right tool? Self-reflection lang. Anong ginagamit niyong resume sa pag-apply? First, yung information ba ninyo dun sa ginamit mo, is it secured? Kung ang sagot nyo sa akin, ang gamit nyo yung mga Word file, printed copies ng mga PDF file nyo, definitely, hindi yan secured. Pag nilipad yung papel ninyo at may nakapulot, lahat na nakapulot, alam na yung buong information nyo. Okay? Speed of hire. Bumibilis ba yung proseso pag yan ang gamit nyong tool? Ba? When you email, bumibilis ba yung proseso? Probably yes, bumibilis. Pero depende kung anong nilagay mong resume. Kung in-attach mo yung mga Word file nyo or document file nyo, mga PDF file, hindi bumibilis yung process. Why? Because the HR has to download that file. And if you have any changes, just in case na you have any changes, nagpalit ka ng address, nagkaroon ka ng development sa inyong career, nagkaroon ka ng mga promotion and all that, when you update your information, what do? You have to send another email to that company just so they can get your updated information. And so, hindi na siya pasok sa checklist. Diba? If you use the resume link, yes, it now becomes more efficient kasi hindi mo na kailangan magpadala ng inyong resume link. Let's go to the third checklist. Flexible ba ito? If you're using other platform, yung mga job platform, I think hindi siya flexible. Why? Because you are limited to creating a resume only to be used for that platform. Let me just use some examples lang. May mga job boards po tayo na they require you to create your own profile. Just like in Jobs 180, we ask you to create your own profile. Now, here's the big difference. If you have a profile for a different job board, you can only use that for that job board. Kung ano man yung job board na yon. Okay? Pag gamit mo yung resume link, pwede mo to gamitin kahit na saan mo makita yung advertisement, yung opportunity. Pwede mo ipadala sa kumpanya. Okay? And let's go to the last checklist. Is it cost efficient? I think this is something that you can already answer. Okay? Ito na po ang pinaka-tipid na tool because you just have to create one resume link and that link is what you now give to the companies. Whether you print it sa maliliit na papel or you write it down or you just simply text or message, i-private message nyo yung mga HR, they will be able to share information. And so, check, 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 check. Lahat ng apat na yan, check pagdating sa resume link. Okay? Just to share some other benefits, you can share resume link to whatever platform. Hindi ka limited sa Jobs 180 lang. You don't have to save it anymore sa mga USB nyo or mga hard drive nyo. Okay? Yung mga kung saan nyo man sinisave, sa cellphone nyo, yung mga resumes nyo. No need for that. Okay? And you don't need to worry about compatibility ng anong version ba ito. Ganyan, wala na. Just remember lang your resume link. Yan po ang reason kung bakit, by the grace of God, we already have more than 400 colleges and university partners nationwide. And kayo po mismo, kung saan man kayo, I think and I hope, yung mga friends nyo, mga kaibigan nyo, gumamit na rin po ng resume link para yung apat na checklist, pasok. Okay? And so, for me to end, let me just share something that I learned. May dalawang kasabihan. Sabi ni Theodore Roosevelt, the only man who never makes a mistake is the man who never does anything. Sa pandemya, sa panahon ngayon ng pandemic, are you happy just being at home? Well, yes, be happy you're at home and you're safe because that's the thing that you can contribute right now, no, sa society. Huwag tayo maging pabigat pa at makadagdag pa tayo sa problema ng ating bansa. But being at home and doing nothing is different. Being at home and doing something spells the big difference. So you have to take that action. Okay? Sabi ni Albert Einstein, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. So ano yung take-away natin dito? Ang masasabi ko lang is, huwag kayong matakot magkamali. Dahil lahat naman ng tao nagkakamali. Mabuti na magkamali habang maaga kaysa magkamali kayo kung kailan hindi nyo na wala nang chance para ayusin pa yung pagkakamali na yon. Okay? And so, kung meron kayong tanong at nahiya lang magtanong, you can post it on our comment section. Baka lang meron kayong gusto tanongin. You can also email us here when I'm flashing the screen. You can take a screenshot sa info@jobs180.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter to get mga updates. Ako po ulit si Kim Chua. Nagbibiro po parati na hindi lang po Kim Chu ang aking pangalan, meron po talagang Wa. Kim Chu, Wa. Okay, isang magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Sir Kim. I'm actually excited sa ating mga viewers na gamitin nila ang kanilang resume link. So, remind ko lang para dun sa mga gagawa ng account, paki-verify siya after. And pati na rin dun sa mga nakagawa na before, don't forget to verify. Unfortunately, Sir Kim, I don't think we have time for Q&A. What we can do is, pwede niyo send yung questions nyo sa amin and kami na magre-relay kay Sir Kim. Okay?
Sige po.
Sir Kim, thank you very much. So,
Thank you, Ren.
we will be proceeding with our program. Thank you. Bye, sir. Okay. So, before we go to our next topic, as mentioned ko kanina, babatiin ko pa ang ibang schools na nandyan, ating school partners. Hello to our viewers from CSB, CRMC, CSTC, DAVSU, DLSP, DLSU DASMA, DIMSU, EYAC, Emmanuel John Institute, Faith Colleges, FEUIT, Golden Gate College, Greenville, Laguna, Holy Angel University, ICI, IETI, ILO Science and Tech U, Immaculate Conception International, IMUS Institute of Science and Tech, Interworld Colleges, JHC State College, John B. Lacson JRU, Kaong National High School, Laguna University, LCCM, Lipa City Colleges, LPU, LSGH, ANHS, and LSPU. So once again, hiningal na naman ako sa pagbabati sa inyo. So I'm very thankful na marami sa ating viewers ang nag-pre-register. Sabi nga ni Sir Kim, habang pahaba ng pahaba yung binibigay ko na schools na nag-pre-reg, na lalo siya natutuwa. So I'm sure hindi pa siya tapos dahil kalahati pa lang yung nababanggit ko sa ating mga school partners. So thank you very much. So let us now move on to our next topic. So this is about working from home. I will be introducing our second speaker. Our second speaker is Inspiro's Associate Vice President for Strategic Engagement. He leads the recruitment, sourcing, and employee engagement groups. With his tenure of 13 years in the company, he has relevant experience as an HR professional and is able to mobilize initiatives in promoting the company's culture of malasakit and excellence to potential teammates through targeted career branding initiatives. He facilitates the development and implementation of retention and talent acquisition programs to support business strategies. He is also a certified digital marketer and has participated in the Google YouTube Guru program. Outside work, he is a loving husband and a father of three. He is a dive master and motorcycle enthusiast. He also represented the country as the team captain of the Pilipinas Aguilas, which is the Philippines national tackle football team. So I would now like to call on Mr. Juan Paulo JP Suarez. Sir, are you there?
I'm here.
Hello, sir. Thank you very much for joining us here. We appreciate that you took the time para bigay tong talk na to about work from home. So I will be backstage and will be coming back again for the Q&A portion. So thank you very much, sir. Go ahead with your talk. Thank you.
Copy. Thanks, Robert. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Hi. So I'm JP. I've been in the BPO industry for over 13 years. I'm very blessed to be head of recruitment, sourcing, and employee engagement. I started off as an agent, and I'm very happy to share what I know about the BPO industry and about work from home. So I know I'm talking to a lot of colleges, a lot of students, people who might be interested in the BPO industry. So I'd like to share a little bit about that first. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So before we go into work from home, let's have a quick look at the Philippine BPO industry. So we are a preferred BPO destination, hosting numerous big names of outsourcing. Companies like Telstra, Chevron, JP Morgan, PayPal, Facebook, Dish are all within the Philippines. Now, North America constitutes of 70% of the market that we serve, while Europe, Asia, Australia, New Zealand constitute the rest. So a quick look if you join the BPO industry. So we have more than 850 BPO companies here, and we're currently operating in the Philippines, 67% or nearly 500 of which are call center companies. That's why we're called the call center capital of the world. The industry employs currently 1.5 million people, and we have a 23 billion US dollar revenue representing 60% of the Philippines' overall economic growth. Now, to tell you a little bit about Inspiro, so Inspiro is the pioneer leader in global customer management with 32,000 employees, with 51 strategic locations, including North America, Latin America, and Asia Pacific. We're owned by the Relaya company, which has been ranked 35 out of the top 50 of global BPO providers in the world. Also, our global revenue is at $1 billion US a year. So here are some of the locations that we're at. If you notice, we're in the Philippines, United States, Nicaragua, Japan, Asia, Romania, even. Now, within the Philippines, it's really cool. Our head office is based in the Philippines, and so it's baliktad. We are the expats. We actually travel to countries all over the world, opening sites, and the reason for that is Filipinos are known as experts in BPO industries throughout the world. So we're very happy. We have a lot of pride in traveling to other countries, operating their accounts. So here are some of the awards that Inspiro has won. We've had BPO Company of the Year, um, Employer of the Year, and I think one of the reasons for that is because as a company we really put employees first. What we believe is that we put our employees first. Our employees will treat their customers right. The customers will treat the clients right, and we can raise shareholder value. And I think that really shows when the pandemic happened because we really focused on our employees. So what we did was that we know that we'll now turn to working from home. So we know that working from home is the best way to keep our employees safe. So we activated our work from home capabilities with our employee safety and well-being in mind. We allowed our employees to work from home as best to protect them from possible exposure of the virus. Now, in order to work from home, if you come work for a BPO and you want to work from home, you usually need a wired internet service provider, so not pocket Wi-Fi, not data, a wired internet service provider, and you need 10 mbs upload and download speed. 15% of our companies work on site, and then majority of them work from home. And then what we did was that we wanted to make sure our employees were safe. We helped them with temporary housing, with shuttle service to and from their doorstep, from home all the way to the office and back. Um, so yeah. So when we started with this new normal, we wanted to be, so we have most of our employees working from home, but for our employees working on site, we wanted to make sure that there was a mandatory wearing of masks, frequent disinfection of the facilities, including the common areas, the workstations. We strictly enforce social distancing within our floor plans. We have floor markers, visual cues were installed. Also, we discourage face-to-face meetings. So a lot of our meetings that we have are what we're doing right now, using Zoom, using Google Meets. We make sure that we have temperature checks before you enter the building. And specifically for Inspiro, we strengthened our COVID-19 response protocols with partnerships with healthcare providers and major hospitals around near our operation. But something really cool to say about our culture, when we finally get back to what it was prior to the pandemic, we're really known for our culture. We have great company events. We have a discount card as an employee. You get hundreds of discounts when you show the card. For example, as soon as you start as an employee, within your first paycheck, we have South Star Drug within our locations. You get a 5% discount for not only yourself, family members as well. To add, if your family member is PWD or the senior citizen, you also get the same discount. We also have financial partners that we put into place. So you can get an emergency loan up to 30,000 pesos with Inspiro once you're an employee and you're regularized. And also we have educational loans up to 100,000. And not only are these educational loans for the schools, for your kids' schools, but they're also for you as an employee, and you can use the educational loan to purchase gadgets so that you can do school online. We also have salary loans as well. Now, one of the cool things that we have at Inspiro is we have what's called a CSR day. One day a year, we all get together across the globe, and we do a social responsibility day. Last year, we were able to raise 1.6 million pesos in one day, and we're planning on doing that this year, this October. So now I told you about the BPO industry. I told you, the fun stuff you can do at a BPO. A lot of people wonder what it's like working at a BPO. It's just an office job. You work in a great location, you work with great people, you work in great facilities, and it's an office job. It's just that sometimes you work at night, sometimes you work during the day. So what I'm showing you now are the different kinds of accounts that we have, and we have many different kinds of accounts. So we have media and entertainment. We are the U.S. satellite biggest provider is one of our clients. We have retail and e-commerce. We have telecommunications, travel and hospitality. We have accounts that are banking, finance, and insurance services. We have IT. We have healthcare, energy utilities, and education. Now, we have different kinds of accounts. We have domestic accounts to handle our domestic clients. We have international accounts that help our international clients. And then also we have accounts that are what's called project-based and regular accounts. Now, the project-based, we have our clients that are what's called from the flower ramps, 1-800-Flowers. And what they do is that they hire within a short period of time. We're coming up on our Mother's Day ramp. And believe it or not, I'm very blessed to have this job because even during this pandemic, between now and December, we have to hire over 8,000 people. And right now, we're focusing our hiring within Metro Manila, Iloilo, and Dumaguete, where we have our sites. And where we have our sites within Metro Manila is in Pasig, Quezon City, Makati, and Mandaluyong. We have a few sites in Makati. And then we have a site in Dumaguete, and then we have a site in Iloilo. But very close, very soon, we're going to be launching a project where we can hire across the entire country. So look forward to that. Now, when you're working as a project hire, you only work for a month, so it's perfect for students. Actually, our project hire accounts, a majority of them are students. And they come into the call center industry. They work for a month. They see if they like it, and many of them do. And then they can move on to our regular accounts. Now, our regular accounts, we have different kinds. We have customer service, and then we have sales. We even have an account which is on our Makati site, in our insular site, where it's an inbound sales account, which means that you get calls. For example, a person in the U.S. Would like to, increase their current satellite services. I mean, right now we're all staying at home, right? We all watch Netflix. We all want to get new channels. So let's say you're in the U.S. And you want to get more channels. They'll call you. They'll talk to you. They'll ask you about, what channels do you have? What do you recommend? And you can upgrade your services for them, which they really appreciate, right? And for those accounts, believe it or not, our top performers earn over 100,000 pesos a month on top of their salary. And our average performers, who aren't very average, I mean, they're great, but those, they earn 30 to 50,000 pesos above their salary. We have employees in those accounts that have purchased homes, purchased cars, taken care of the family. So it's really, I've been with the company for over 15 years. I'm sorry, 13 years. I have teammates that have been with me for over 15 years. And it's very not difficult, but I guess you're working for a really special company when you have, teammates that have been with you for so long. So these are the kind of accounts that we have. Now, if you want to apply, well, first off, if you want to apply, you can apply at our the Jobs 180 site, and I'm sure they're going to share the link later. 95% of our application process is pure virtual, so it's all done online virtually. We have a chat bot named Inzi, Inzi short from Inspiro, where you can go to our Facebook page and she can walk you step by step on how to apply. And here's the application process. So let's say you go to the online application, you can go to Jobs 180. From there, you'll get an initial phone interview. You'll do an online assessment. You'll do a communications assessment based on the kind of account you're qualified for. Then you'll do a final phone interview, and then if everything works out, we'll give you a job offer. Sometimes on the same day. So yeah, and then finally, uh, once you're hired with us, I'm really happy to say that our employee referral system is really great. We give between 5 and 10,000 pesos every time you refer a friend or family member to work with us, depending on the account. We do that because we would rather incentivize our employees, our family members, and give them funds when they refer people rather than anybody else. And the cool thing is that you can win really, really great prizes. Like you can win a Nintendo Switch and other items like that. So that's it for my presentation.
Hello, Sir JP. Thank you very much. We are actually glad to hear that there are companies like Inspiro, well, that are able to adapt to this pandemic. And I'm sure our viewers there are interested in being part of Inspiro. Why do I say that? Because the questions that they ask relate to them wanting to be there. I'll
Okay.
be asking these questions. I'll be reading them out loud so you could
Okay.
address your answer to them. The
Okay.
first question is, what can you advise to fresh grads who want to start their careers in the BPO setting? So these are for fresh graduates who want to start their career in the BPO setting. What can you advise to them?
So the first thing that I would do if I would like to work in the BPO setting, I would look for a company like such as Inspiro, that has a good culture, and then I would apply. Before applying, I would look at different channels on you, different. I guess you could say channels. You could look at different videos on YouTube on how to do an interview, on how to fill out your resume. The thing is that when you try something for the very first time, you're usually not good at it, right? Like Michael Jordan, LeBron, they weren't excellent basketball players right from the get, right? So what they had to do was practice. So for fresh grads, what I suggest you do is that look at how interviews are done online. Look at how to do a resume online, and then sit with your family member or sit with a friend and then do a role play of an interview. Have them ask you questions. The more that you do that, the more natural it'll feel. And then I say you could do that like maybe 2 or 3 times, and then once you're done, you can go apply at a company, and then do the interview process. And there are some companies actually that have what's called free near hire training. And what that is that Inspiro has it. We call ours Achieve Academy. It's a free call center training that you have for 2 weeks, even before you apply. So you can call us up and you can apply through Facebook and say I'm interested in Achieve Academy. You can go through the free 2 week call center training, that's done virtually. It's done online. And a matter of fact, for Achieve Academy, if you go through our Achieve Academy, and other BPOs have this too, you will get a like a joining bonus just for going through that if you get hired at the company. Like we do, we have a 5,000 joining bonus if you go through our Achieve Academy. So I think for fresh grads, doing the YouTube, going through YouTube, checking out how to do an interview, checking out how to do recruitment, doing role plays with friends and family, and then if you're not comfortable with applying right away, going to like an Achieve Academy or new hire training, I think that would be the best option for fresh grads.
Okay, so thank you, Sir JP. For our viewers out there, that's a lot of tips for them. And well, I think the main point is that maybe they shouldn't put too much pressure on themselves from the start. By it might be better for them to prepare rather than coming in not knowing anything, because it's understandable, I guess, that they are in fact fresh grads. And I think it's good for them because they can grow with the company. I think that's what I'm taking from your answer, sir. And
Oh yeah.
well, in relation, again, showing that they are very interested in being part of Inspiro. A question is, about uh, how long the process will be for their hiring for work from home jobs. I heard earlier that there are times that it would take a day, but specifically for work from home, this person is asking that question.
Okay. So normally the hiring process takes 1 day on a normal circumstance. But right now during the pandemic, we have over 5 million countrymen that are currently not working. That's the numbers I remember back in April. So there's a lot of people that are switching to work at BPOs. So we actually have a lot of applicants. Having Inzi, our virtual assistant, processing the apps is really helping us out. We actually just got that virtual assistant just during the pandemic to help with our applications. um, and normally, the application process will take between 1 to 3 days. So what will happen is that you will apply you will apply, and then you will as soon as you apply, Inzi will take you through a series of assessments right then and there, and then the recruitment team will receive the assessments, review them, and then contact you back. um, Sometimes it's difficult to get back at the applicants because there's a lot of dead spots, diba? At your home, like me, like in my home right now, I don't get any signal. So when you apply, another suggestion is to make sure within 1 to 3 days that your phone has load, or that your phone is accessible. So 1 to 3 days to answer the question.
Okay, so thank you for that. For our viewers, maraming opening pero maraming ring kaaway, kalaban. Because well, I guess there are a lot that are interested in being part of Inspiro. Especially, I guess after seeing earlier, you might be really interested. So wag niyo nang patagalin. Go to Jobs 180, search for Inspiro, and then submit to them, apply to them using your resume link. So, Sir
Yeah.
JP, I think maybe we have time for one last question. And this is a question asking, sorry, the question is, what are the positions for work from home setup that is specific for fresh grads?
Well, I think, so. Like I said, we're very blessed to be hiring between now and the end of the year 8,000 people. So help me, help me, help you. One of our accounts is our customer service flowers account. So just basic customer service. It's a project hire account. It's perfect for fresh grads. We're going to start hiring for that account within the next few months, or this month actually we start hiring, but the peak of that hiring is happening in September. So I think it's a perfect time really to prepare for that. It's a The project is only for 1 month. It's work from home, and that'll give fresh grads really, you know, experience on how to work for a BPO. And then from there, so what happens normally is that fresh grads will go into that, into that kind of account, and then if they like it, they'll then move on to a regular account because they then have experience. But also to add, we so that's for call centers, working at night for an international account. But a lot of people, we have a lot of domestic accounts. So we work, with banks. We have a lot of financial institutions. We have ticketing for airlines. So for those, that's also perfect for a fresh grad because it's domestic accounts. So depending on the kind of class you've taken. Like, for example, if you were in the tourism industry and you're a fresh grad, you would be perfect for our airline accounts. If you were in business management or you're in finance and you're a fresh grad, never had a job, you'll be perfect to work for one of our banks. So, and I think that's really, a blessing for Inspiro. We have so many different accounts. We have so many different kinds of clients that we can really help put you in the right job.
Okay, so Sir JP, I'm sorry, I said one last question, pero may pahabol kasi.
Okay
So,
lang.
if you don't mind, I have one more. There's this,
Sure.
we have a viewer asking, specific naman for someone with work experience and then not work from home setup. Earlier
Ah,
kasi we focused on fresh grads. So this person has work experience. So what about if they'll be coming in with experience, but not necessarily for work from home?
okay. So, hi, Aubrey. Thanks for the question. It's a very good question. The reason why is because work from home is really dependent on strong internet access, right? So, even at Inspiro, if an employee has strong internet access, we will actually send our computers to the employee's home. Now, unfortunately, there are some individuals who don't have strong internet access from where they're at. So we actually have locations open for them to come work for us. So and our sites, so these are the sites that we have available where you can come work on site. So we have a site in Makati, um, in the Insular Building on Ayala. We have a site in City Motors, or our sister company has a site in City Motors, which is in Makati. That's next to Don Bosco. We have a site in Pasig, in Winsome. Uh, I guess in Ortigas on Emerald Avenue. Then we have another site in Quezon City, next to España, PLDT Rotonda. We have a site in Muñoz, right off of the MRT. And then if you work, or then we have a site in Mandaluyong. So we have a site in Mandaluyong. Let me not forget that. That's a site I very first started working at 13 years ago. Uh, I love that site. And then finally, we have a site in Iloilo, and we have a site in Dumaguete. So if you live within the vicinities of those sites, you can work at those locations.
Okay, so thank you, Sir JP. For those who ask questions na hindi ko nabasa, maybe I could compile them and send it to Sir JP or another representative from Inspiro. But we are closing first topic. We are right on time, 3 o'clock. Good job, us. And
I just want to say one thing. I just want to say one
go
thing.
ahead, sir. Go ahead.
If you guys have a lot of questions on Robert, if you have a lot of questions, you just go to our Facebook page, which is Inspiro Philippines, and you can ask all of the questions you want. And the good part about that is that you can see our company culture right there. So if you Robert, if you want to collate the questions, we'll definitely get back to them. But for easier to make it easier for the viewers, you can just go to our Facebook page.
Okay, so viewers go straight to the Facebook page, Inspiro PH. Is that correct? Philippines, sorry.
Inspiro Philippines.
Inspiro Philippines Facebook group. Diretso nyo na doon ang inyong mga tanong. Mabilis sila mag-reply. Baka mas mabilis pa sa amin. So thank you very much, Sir JP. We are actually glad to hear that not only are you hiring, but you are hiring 8,000. So we are needing more jobs, and we are glad that Inspiro is able to provide these jobs to everyone here. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. God bless.
God bless, sir. Stay safe. Okay, moving on to our next topic. Before that, syempre, babatiin ko naman yung mga hindi ko pa nabati kanina. Hello to our viewers from Malayan Colleges, MCU, Manuel S. Enverga University Foundation, NAIC National High School, NCST, NUST, New Era University, NPC, Olfu, Pamantasan ng Cabuyao, Pambayang Dalubhasan ng Marilao, Pangasinan State U, PATS, PCU, FINMA AU, FINMA COC, FINMA UPANG, PL PL Moon, PLP, PNU, PSBA, PUP, PWC, PWU, Rafael B. Memorial High School, RTU, Sacred Heart Poblacion, St. Jude College, St. Louis University, St. Michael's College of Laguna, San Jose National High School, Senior High, and SMMC. So, meron ba tayo later? Pero hello sa mga schools na yon. I hope that after nyo mag-pre-reg kahapon or days before na nandito rin kayo ngayon, you are able to join us here. Okay. So let us now move on to our next topic. Our speaker is prepared. So the next topic is expectations in the new normal. The speaker, she has 11 years of HR practitioner experience with a demonstrated history of working in the retail, electronics, food, direct selling, automotive, Lighting and Electrical Industries. She is a graduate of BS Educational Psychology from De La Salle University, Manila. She leads the HR Talent Acquisition and Management team of Felco since 2018. So I would like to introduce to you Miss Ivy Chua from Firefly Electronic and Lighting Corporation. Miss Ivy, hello. Are you
Hi,
there?
hi Robert.
Yes. So Miss Ivy, I again will be going backstage. I am prepared for whatever emergency, but mostly you will be going on with your talk, and I'll be coming back for the Q&A. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Robert, for that short introduction. So, hi everyone. I hope you are all keeping well and staying safe. I am Ivy of Firefly Electric and Lighting Corporation, and I am here to speak about and share with you all to let you understand the COVID-19, let you understand how the COVID-19 pandemic have changed the employment landscape for graduating students and also those who have recently graduated, and also for those who actually are currently exploring. So, and also I will be sharing with you what can you expect over the next few months. I also have some tips, simple yet effective advice for virtual interviews, which are here to stay. So I'll just share my screen. Okay. So for this topic, expectations in the new normal or how the new normal is changing the employment landscape for graduates, I'll be run you through for the short topics that we will be discussing this afternoon. We have here the virtual recruitment process. Is the new normal changing the job search for the better? So I know yan ang mga ilan sa gusto nyong malaman. Will job search be difficult or different? Virtual interviews are the other new normal. And how to enrich our resumes despite a setback during this time. So first, virtual recruitment process. So with this one, actually, the hiring process now is our new normal. With the understandable need to flatten the curve of infection and prevent it from flaring up again, well, undoubtedly, no, the companies now um, nagkaroon ng impact no, in terms of recruiting and hiring candidates. Well, there definitely will be some companies and some industries which will take a more cautious view to graduate hiring. I think many others will take a more long-term approach and will continue to invest in building their talent pipeline. So, totoo yan, no? Talagang nagbi-build pa sila ngayon ng talent pipeline. Organizational goals are getting revisited as we speak, resulting in redefining work, roles, and needs. Organizations that will emerge as winners in the talent marketplace in medium to long term will be those that decide to invest people with great skills. So as you can see in the screen, acquisition teams now from different companies are adapting their processes to work remotely. They use social media to promote their employer brand and connect with talent. They use video in the interview process and also part of the screening process. So baka some of you are currently exploring, applying, baka may mga nag-invite sa inyo din na HR na na-experience ninyo firsthand, no? Video interviews na ngayon. Okay? Video and online meetings to facilitate the onboarding process. When we say onboarding, ito yung madalas na day one, new employee orientation. So, ganun din, madalas ngayon virtually na siya ginagawa. So, it's important that you have a stable internet connection at home kasi madalas yung day one mo, pwede na nasa bahay ka lang, no? Throughout the orientation process. And then more phone calls than before. Kasi diba before, the HR will be inviting you to report in the office. They'll be telling you the next steps regarding your application. Now it's different. Phone calls na lang or video to give the instructions. Also, more texting to communicate with candidates following an offer. Okay. So ito, run through ko lang with Firefly. This is our four stages in recruitment. But from the other companies, same set naman din ng stages eh. Yung iba mas naka-breakdown lang into different steps. But basically, in summary, these are the 4 stages. We have the first stage, talent attraction and sourcing. So dito papasok si Jobs 180. Second is the screening and measurement. Third, selection. And fourth stage, hiring and virtual onboarding. So with talent attraction and sourcing, yung mga companies, ito yung nagja-job post na sila. Meron silang creative content. So with Jobs 180, di ba, nag-visit kayo sa site and then nag-drop kayo or nag-deposit kayo ng mga resume links. And then the HR reviews the CV and then also invite you, no? Invite the candidates for screening. Second, screening na. So kung before ini-invite kayo for exam sa office or initial interview, now, pwedeng online link na lang din yung exam. No? Online exam na lang siya, be it psychometric or behavioral assessment. And then you will be also shortlisted and be invited for virtual assessment. So before initial interview to ni HR sa office, ngayon virtual na rin siya. Third, selection. In terms of interview schedules with next level interviewers, kumbaga final interview na, one-on-one yan or panel, lahat din video interviews na rin ngayon. And then, last step, hiring and virtual onboarding. Ito yung marami pang steps no, sa stage na to. Nandiyan ang reference check, medical check, offer, and onboard. Yung medical and offer, may mga companies na medyo nasa-swap yan. Pwedeng offer muna bago medical or medical and then offer. Now, ito mas grabe yung screening kasi dahil sa pandemic nga kailangan talaga cleared kayo no may meron kayo medical clearance or talagang fit to work kayo before kayo makapag-start. In terms of onboarding, as mentioned earlier, basically virtual na siya ginagawa ngayon. So, now ito ang tanong, no? Is the new normal changing the job search for the better? Life has changed as we know it, di ba? Many of us are glued to TVs every day, di ba? Reading articles or social media posts, hoping yung government natin na magiging mantra nila is the light at the end of the tunnel will come soon. But that light, di ba, seems to be moving further away pa. Especially, there are some areas now na back to MECQ. So with that, puntahan natin, no, yung job seeker perspective. Ano nga ba? So now I tell you, everyone now is a job seeker. Yes, totoo yan, no? Today's workers will change jobs an average of 12 times in their career, and many spend 5 years or less in each job, a dramatic shift from the old ideal of spending your entire career with one company. So as posted there in my screen, while frequent job changes were once viewed as an inability to hold down or a job and or a lack of patience to work your way up. Now it's different, no? It's a sign na proactive ka sa career management mo. You have this desire for professional growth. Kasi di ba before pag job hopper ka, para bang rejected na agad eh. Now with the current situation, iba yung tingin ng mga HR dyan, no? Kasi now people are looking for a stable company. It's not more about money eh. Kasama na dyan ang career, building your career. So gusto mo kung saan ka ma-employ, doon ka na, diba? Kumbaga may growth talaga in terms of career. This means most people are constantly at some stage of a job search, even if they are not actively seeking new employment. So ito, I've read an article, actually it's a survey of JobVite. It's a 2020 Job Seeker Nation survey. Naka-indicate dun sa study na yon na 63% ng employees na satisfied with their jobs are also, yung 48% doon ha, are also open to new roles. So imagine, hindi lang kayo na graduating students or fresh graduates ang naghahanap ngayon ng work. Even yung mga ngayon na may trabaho na or satisfied naman, they are open. 48% doon, open sila to explore to new roles. So anong pwedeng gawin natin? First, networking is key. Both online and offline, pwede mo gawin yan. Technology is everywhere and it's constantly evolving. So in order to stay relevant, we need to keep up with technological trends and adopt to new ways of working. Maganda yan, nasa bahay tayo ngayon, nag-explore tayo, mag-study, mag-research, no? Alamin nyo yung mga platforms ngayon na ginagamit para kapag meron kayong na-receive na invitation for interview, hindi kayo mangangarap, familiar kayo with, for example, with Skype, with Zoom, with Google Meet, and other platforms. So there are also few workers na they have this fear na baka mapalitan sila ng automation. So anong ibig sabihin nun? Kasi early this year, ito yung pagpasok na no, after nung PCQ, almost all the businesses have reviewed their priorities. Nag-identify sila ng mga critical. So kung dati, kunyari, kailangan nila 500 more, new positions, ngayon pwedeng half na lang or 100, for example. So with that, check nila, ano kaya dito yung mga roles or positions na pwede nang i-automate na para makabawas tayo, hindi na tayo mag-hire ng additional people. So itong mga industries na to na uncertain ngayon, no, sabi din sa isang study, is pwedeng software and technology, telecommunications, and transportation or utilities. Okay? So moving to, will job search be difficult or different? My answer to that is yes to both. Okay? The overall hiring sentiment in the Philippines is that we're likely to witness an adverse impact in the short term. We are living in competitive times, and history has always witnessed the survival of the fittest. In terms of differences or difficulties, job seekers will need to have skills relevant to the now of work. So, nandiyan sa screen ko, no? Relevant to the now of work, and therefore must utilize this time to build their skill set. So, ang mga tanong na papasok dito ay, what are you uniquely good at? What is it that you can do better than others? So, ito yung masasabi ko, no? I would say that the job search actually will be difficult for those who do not make the effort to be different and stand out in these times. So, you need to be different. Kailangan mag-stand out kayo. Okay? So, virtual interviews are the other new normal. Yes, di ba? Actually, nangyayari na siya. As mentioned also by the other speakers earlier, no? Virtual interviews na talaga ngayon. In-person interviews will no longer be the norm. Hindi na siya norm. Often, the initial screening will take place via telephone interview, followed by a series of video interviews. In a video interview, the candidate shows up at a scheduled appointment time and meets with one or more of the team members that are responsible for hiring. Although this method has gained traction over the past few years, kasi even before naman, meron ng platform, no, for video interview. Pero hindi lang siya ganun gamit na gamit kasi almost all the employers or the hiring managers prefer pa rin talaga na face-to-face. Pero now, totally in a snap, it's different. No? Talagang shift tayo to virtual interviews. So many candidates do not realize there are techniques that will help project a higher degree of professionalism. So these are some online interview tips. I know some of you have attended a webinar weeks before na ito rin yung topic. So medyo papasidahan lang din natin siya, no? In terms of online interview tips, prepare for it like you would for an in-person interview. Ganun ang pag-prepare, no? Same siya as if aalis ka ng bahay at meron kang interview. Research about the employer and do your homework on the person you're meeting with. Anticipate questions and prepare your answers in advance, especially those that could catch attention. Ano ba yung mga nakaka-catch ng attention? So ito yon. Yung may mga gap year or a long break between graduation and seeking employment. Diba, madalas yung nagtatanong, oh, ang tagal mo na nag-graduate, no? Anong pinagkaabalahan mo? Bakit after ganitong months or years, ka pala nagkaroon ng first employment? But took you so long, no, to find a job? So yung mga gano'n, na very typical na tingin na lagi naman kayong tinatanong, pwede na kayong mag-rehearse, meron na kayo dapat prepared answers for that. Also, do a test run of the application you're using with a friend and make sure your speakers or microphone work well. So, importante din yun. Pwede kayo mag-practice muna at home. For example, sabi Google Meet ang gagamitin for the interview. Hindi, try nyo muna at home kasi better yun. Tapos ma-check mo yung background, yung lighting, yung audio mo, kung meron bang magiging problem, no? And then, some virtual meeting rooms take time to add you to the bridge. Therefore, dialing in a few minutes earlier helps too. So, kung for example, 4 p.m. ang interview, 10 minutes before that, join na kayo. At least, kung meron mang problema, you still have time na ayusin pa siya. In terms of dressing up, please dress, no, for the part. Although virtual, grooming for an interview not only helps with that great first impression, but more importantly, helps you mentally prepare for the interview. And then, in terms of ito, tingin ko kasi, ito yung mga ilan sa mga questions nyo rin, no? Enriching our resumes despite a setback during this time. So, suggestions for this, just use this time to hone your skills and enrich your resume. Use your part-time interests such as blogging or coding to pick up short-term projects. Even if a task doesn't pay like volunteering, di ba pag mga volunteer work, wala namang pay yun. But you can afford to do it because you have other projects to keep you going. Do it as it can be a great addition to your resume and teach you skills that a full-time job won't. That's true. May mga ilan tayong projects or ginagawa na yung mga skills na natutunan natin doon, hindi natin siya nahahanap, no? Or natututunan din at work. Sign up for online courses. There are many platforms that are providing and yung mga free digital learning courses ngayon, madami yan, no? Mga certification courses. During the ECQ, I myself, no, I have attended a lot. Just to refresh lang din my ideas to gain new knowledge. So ngayon, huwag niyo sayangin yung oras, no? Enroll lang kayo, maraming free. Engage on these virtual learning platforms with leaders, and getting certification courses would be a great way to equip yourself with the right skills. Okay? So in summary, those who are looking to find a job or move to another company will need to change their approach to finding that perfect position. The new normal for candidates will encompass how to find a job, revamp and optimize your resume, update your portfolio, rethink your job requirements, increase your professional networks, and prepare for being your best during video interviews. So my advice for graduating students and young professionals who are feeling especially uncertain about their future, well, ambiguity and feeling like you have no control during this pandemic could make you more anxious, and that could make you lose hope. Totoo yan. It's important that you take back control of your career. Kayo ang kailangan mag-manage ng career ninyo. There's a huge difference in wanting a job and making it happen, 'di ba? Iba yung want sa talagang gusto mong mangyari, no? Making that happen. Continue to apply for roles that are relevant for you. Engage in active networking. Follow up posts and interview, and most of all, don't give up hope. So moving forward, conditions are constantly changing for job seekers and employers alike. And this instability is likely to continue for some time. Hindi pa natin masabi kung hanggang kailan, di ba? One thing remains constant. At its core, the business of hiring is about people. At Felco, or here at Firefly Electric and Lighting Corporation, we believe the smart application of technology can help make the new normal a little simpler and more rewarding for everyone involved. So I hope this short session inspired you to think differently, to be able to upskill and reskill and make yourself more marketable in the future. So guys, no, light up your career. You may visit our career site in Jobs 180. Thank you everyone for listening.
Okay, so thank you, Miss Ivy. I will be reading questions as well for you. But before that, I would like to thank you actually from me that your content is very helpful. I hope na ang nakuha ng ating viewers ay hindi lang gaining more knowledge, pero pati yung anxiety nila mabawasan.
Yes.
Because yes, I think that's what you were going for. In fact, meron kasi it's normal. I have friends who have these issues. Sabihin ko sa kanya, panoorin mo yung video ni Felco, ni Miss Ivy. Sana, sana mabawasan ang inyong anxiety. Because I
Yes.
understand it's what they're going through. So,
Yeah.
in relation, a question that I have right here
Okay.
is, with the country facing recession, ano pong kalagayan ng mga fresh grads? Mas kokonti na lang po ba opportunities for them? So, they are concerned about opportunities ng fresh grads if kokonti ba siya?
Well, actually tingin ko, hindi naman talaga masasabi 'no, na kokonti. Kasi like kanina nga 'di ba yung previous speaker natin, madami pa rin silang hiring and hindi naman lahat yung positions na yun is kailangan may experience. Actually, sa'min din 'no, in Firefly, meron kaming mga open posts na open pa rin for fresh grads. So ang importante lang ngayon, while waiting for the job, while waiting for yung right timing ng trabaho na yun sa'yo, importante nga na nagbe-build ka ng skill mo. Kasi kagaya ng sinabi ko nga kanina, ito yung panahon na, kasi sasanay tayo every year fresh grads, 'di ba? Talagang madami yan, makakasabay. Ngayon, kasabay nga rin ng mga fresh grads, yung mga may trabaho din na naghahanap. So, tingin ko kasi yung fresh grads, capable yan, no? Equipped talaga yan eh, lalo na kakagraduate pa lang. Kailangan lang siguro ngayon yung timing na mag-build pa yung skill set mag-aral. Kaya nga, actually maganda nga ngayon, ang daming free online courses eh, at marami ka talagang matututunan. So, tapos revisit nyo yung resume nyo. Kung hindi naman na yun yung applicable, meron kayong bagong skill na tutunan, include na ninyo doon, mag-update na kayo ng portfolio ninyo. So, hindi natin masasabi na wala na, no? Marami pa ring opportunities for all the fresh graduates now.
Okay. So, dahil doon, Miss Ivy, pipiliin ko tong next question na to, which is related. Ano raw ang masasuggest nyo na free online course, especially I guess kung mag-a-apply for Firefly Electric and Lighting? Kung ano ang magandang i-take as preparation para sa pag-a-apply sa companies like sa inyo, I mean.
Okay, like kay Firefly, no? Tama ba?
Mm-mm.
Oo.
Yes.
Simple actually yung communication skills naman lagi na yun, 'di ba? More on, for example, organizational skills. Kasi pag kunyari work from home ang setup, 'di ba? So given yun, kailangan ikaw organize ka at home kasi wala naman ng supervisor na maya't maya nakabantay na sa'yo. Com skills isama natin yan. Tapos in terms of how you, hindi lang relate to other people how you analyze. Kasi kailangan ngayon in terms of analyzing task, no, nandoon na siya. Hindi na yun talagang dependent tayo with our immediate supervisor or immediate head. So, kailangan kayo mismo, you know how to manage your work, you know how to manage your task. So, marami yan. More on mga soft skills na hahanapin ninyo dyan, online. Maraming free.
So for our viewers there, maraming options. We should try to be proactive. I guess compare ko ulit sa mga friends ko na na-frustrate na they feel na wala sila masyadong magawa while waiting. This is one thing that they could do, being proactive and going through online courses.
Yes,
So
oo.
I think we have, sorry, go ahead na.
I-add ko lang din, no, Robert.
Yes.
Kung meron ilan sa kanila na nakapag-submit na ng mga resume din sa employers, hindi ibig sabihin ngayon na hindi kayo natatawagan, baka hindi na rin kayo makukuha, no? Siguro ngayon nasa stage din kasi yung mga companies na nagtitake time pa kasi nagre-revisit sila ng business nila Like for example, with Firefly, meron kami doon na December last year pa. Tapos na-delay na January, February, hindi pa nag-onboard. Kumbaga hindi pa rin na-process yung kanyang application. Biglang itong July, biglang nangailangan kami. Binalikan namin yung mga previous applicants. So nagulat sila kasi nga 'di ba wala pang work. Nagulat sila, ngayon they're very grateful. Hindi na akalain na over 6 months, tapos biglang yung application nila is still progressing. So ganun din I'm sure with other companies.
Okay. So, earlier may nag-flash na question, Marvy, from our tech. Pwede paki-flash ulit. There. Next question, may age limit po ba if ever pag nag-a-apply pero may experience na po sa mga past work? So, age limit.
Naku, sa ngayon naman, age limit, wala na yan, di ba? Wala tayong discrimination ngayon. Lalo na ngayon na makadalasan ngayong work from home ang possible na work. So, yung age, it doesn't matter na, more on skills talaga. Yung capability mo to do the job.
So, for our viewers, take note, age limit, hindi lang yan sa kung gaano ka bata pero gaano katanda. I'm sure hindi rin dinidiscriminate if medyo mas older ang applicant, hindi dapat ganun ng companies. I'm sure Firefly ay based sa answer ni Ms. Ivy, sure na
Yes.
sunod yun. Yes.
Yes.
So I think may questions pa ba? Marv's there. What if we missed a call from a possible interviewer? Should we wait or should they call back?
Pwede kayo actually mag-text muna, no? You ask lang, just mag-sorry lang kayo na na-miss niyo yung call. And then tell them that you'll be waiting na lang din for another call. You could advise them about that naman.
There. So again, sa ating viewers, okay lang na maging proactive tayo. Huwag tayo parating naghihintay. So kay Miss Ivy, I guess tama naman. I agree na it's good to text first kesa call back agad. Pero not because hindi mo lang nasagot, it's over na. You should reach out to them pa rin. So,
Yes.
Mars, meron pa ba tayo? Next. May magpa-flash pa ba? So, I think wala na yatang ipa-flash si Mars. Pero I think, yeah, Sorry. Yun na yun, Miss Ivy. So thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you
I think
also.
we
Thank you
were
for
able
having
to
me.
address all the questions naman ng ating mga viewers. And should there be further questions, saan po kaya nila pwedeng padala?
Pwede
Sa
rin
Facebook page na
actually,
rin po?
yes, sa Facebook page din. Pwede. Yes, pwede doon.
Ano pong name ng Facebook nila, Miss Ivy?
Actually, madali lang, no? Firefly Electric, makikita na siya agad. Yun nga lang, dalawa yung aming page kasi meron kami isa for marketing. So, hanapin niyo yung careers ng Firefly.
Okay, viewers, Firefly Careers, dalawa po yun. Madali siya i-search,
Oo.
pero huwag kayong malilito dahil dalawa siya. Okay,
Yes,
thank you,
so,
Miss
kasi
Ivy.
for marketing.
So,
Alright. Thank you for
thank you very
having
much
me,
for
for
joining us.
having
I hope
Franco.
sa future, maybe we could invite you again. So, thank you very much. So,
Yes,
we
thank
will be
you.
moving on to the topic. Okay, thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, so thank you very much. We will be moving on to our last speaker and our last topic. So far, we had good speakers, good topics, and I think this will build on that. But before anything else, tuloy ko lang ang pagbati sa ating mga viewers from SLSU, Southern De Oro Philippines College, SPC, SPCBA, St. Therese MTC Colleges, St. Vincent College of Cabuyao, STI Global, Tabaco National High School, Tarlac Christian College, Tarlac State U, Fisher Valley College, PIP, National High School, sorry, Trinity University Asia, TUP, UE Caloocan, UE Manila, UMAC, UNC, UNHS Bohol, University of Batangas Lipa, University of Caloocan, University of Cebu, URS, University of San Agustin, University of the Visayas, UP Cebu, UP Diliman, UPLB, UPHSD, USJR, UST, Veles College, and Wesleyan University. So, for sure, lagpas ng 100 yon. Thank you very much to our viewers. Thank you very much that you took the time na mag-register first. And I hope you're here right now watching us. Pero if not, you had the opportunity naman to view it later because this will be posted in our Facebook group. Okay, so let us now move on to our last topic. We'll be introducing our last speaker. He is the Vice President and Regional Director for Global Client Solutions for Factset. He is Joven Paulo Rodriguez. He has a Bachelor of Arts in Communications from DLSU Dasmariñas. Further studies include Business Management in Penn Foster Career School and Project Management in Ateneo Graduate School of Business. For professional stints, was Marketing and Operations, BPO startup in U.S. healthcare industry, financial info and tech industry, assistant manager, news research filings, operations manager, content operations, VP, senior manager for content operations, VP, principal manager, same, VP, director, global client solutions slash client and user support. So once again, I would like to invite Sir Ben Paulo Rodriguez. Are you there, sir?
Hello.
Are you hearing us
Hi,
loud and clear?
Robert. Yes, good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon,
Yes,
sir.
loud and
So
clear.
once again, I will be moving backstage. We'll be giving you the time. I will come back for the question and answer portion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Robert. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So I hope everybody's keeping safe and sound together with their families at home, given the increased lockdown just recently in Manila and neighboring provinces. So for this afternoon, so I'm privileged to have been invited by jobs180.com to speak about a particular topic on post-pandemic Philippines. So let me start off with sharing my screen. So I hope everybody could see the screen right now. So topic I'd like to at least touch on is the post-pandemic Philippines. So what are the opportunities, expectations, and requirements after, let's say, we go back to normal? Although my peers already touched on what the new normals are as expected right now, we hope to be able to get out of this type of pandemic much stronger together. So first up, so for us to be able to understand what the future holds for us, we'd like to understand first is, so what's the industry that I'd like to touch on? So Factset is part of the financial and technology industry. So we are at the crossroads of finance and technology. Typically, people will define finance popularly as banking. So there's consumer banking, but that's just one piece of the puzzle. There's also investment management. There's private equity and venture capital. There's indices and stock exchanges. But
Hello,
it's
sir. Sorry.
been
Sorry to butt in,
hello,
sir,
yes,
but
Robert.
we can see your screen right now. It's not visible
Oh,
to
sorry.
us. We could just see you. So just to make sure that you are sharing your screen, so please go ahead. We will be telling you if we can see it.
There. Could you confirm, Robert, if you could see it?
I can see it. Yes, I think so. We'll be checking with our team.
Great.
Yes, they said that it's okay. Sorry, sir. You can now proceed with your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for the call out. So earlier I did mention, so Factset falls within the crossroads of finance and technology industry. Typically, people would define finance as popularly as banking, consumer banking, but that's just one piece of the puzzle. Finance could be as broad as investment banking, global banking and brokerage, investment management, stock exchanges, brokerages, private equity, venture capital. So it's a wide array of segments in the industry. And on the flip side is there's technology. Technology is anything that perhaps is already funneled through the World Wide Web. So anything that's beyond just pen and paper right now. So in that regard is we started off five decades ago with pre-technology. So most of our transactions in the financial sector are face-to-face. So we'd go to the bank, do withdrawals, do investments, do deposits, face-to-face interactions. But that's long gone already. Since the advent of technology computers, we've had automated teller machines. We've done transactions also over the counter through computers. So everything is dependent already on that technology. But much of this are localized, still localized within sectors, regions across the globe. Afterwards, we ventured into the era of globalization. So we've at least broken down the barriers of time zone. That's the time of our parents or perhaps your grandparents already when you will define that work as 8 to 5. So that's no longer in existence right now. You could be seated working in Manila and servicing a client out of the US, and vice versa. You could also be servicing a client out of Europe. So the borders across time zone is no longer a limitation for the financial industry. But apart from that globalization and breaking down the time zones, most recently we ventured into mobility. Right now, it's just not being able to access information real time across the globe, but you'd like to access the information on the go. You don't like to be seated at the comfort of your own home, access through laptops, through desktops and computers. You'd like to access it through mobile functions. You'd like to do work also while walking, while taking a cup of coffee in the morning, while going over your lunch. So these are the four phases that I'd look at the fintech industry, from pre-technology era, technology, globalization, as well as mobility. Core to any organization for us to understand what the impact of this COVID-19 pandemic had is, let me touch on that's what's core. So each organization could have different core values, could have different pillars, but it would all boil down to at least these five. So each organization should have at least a vision and values, corporate values. So at least it paves a clear runway of what they'd like to achieve as a company, as well as with their people. Next, the people. Without the people working and running it, there's not much really to operate. No client to serve, no data to collect, no work to do quality control on. So people is always the greatest asset of any organization. Third is operations. So operations would pertain to getting the ball rolling. So we already have it on vision. We already have at least a clear runway of what we'd like to do. We have the necessary people with the right talents to at least execute on those visions. But we need clear framework on how do we get the ball rolling? Is it scalable? Is it sustainable in the long run? And the last two is just as core as in any organizations, regardless of industry. Efficiency and quality. Efficiency, typically, it would be defined as productivity. So how much do you get out of each individual? So maybe using local language. Kung may isang tao ka, how much work ang kaya mong makuha sa isang tao? If you have, let's say, 10 clients, do you need 10 people to service 10 clients? If you have 100 clients, do you need 100 people to service 100 clients? So the more efficient you are, the more value add and return to investment to the company. You could also create more opportunities for your people down the road. Last but not the least, which is non-negotiable across all five, is quality, or some would define accuracy also. So quality is the level of service that you deliver to your clients, to your stakeholders. So you could be very efficient, you could have very clear operational framework, you have the right people in a very good vision and corporate values. But if you're unable to maintain a high level of standard in servicing your clients, I don't think it will be scalable in the long run. So these are the five core to any organizations. But typically, on the background, there's something that some organizations tend to overlook. Why? So that would be a rhetorical question. So why? Because it needs a lot of investment. Typically, business continuity is something that's popularly discussed in any companies. However, is only a small fraction of the organizations would typically take action on it until it's necessary. So it's usually lost along those translations with a lot of goals, objectives, financial aspirational targets. Business continuity, capability, and resilience typically gets buried across the way. But right now, we realized when the global pandemic hit, with COVID-19 hit, is business continuity was just as important and any of those five pillars in core in the in any organization. So when the pandemic hit, it translated to lockdowns, not just locally, but globally. So a lot of industries, a lot of countries have opted to do lockdowns with utmost importance for people's safety. And here I have a few statistics to at least have a better appreciation of how impacted, how COVID-19 impacted and shook the global economy. So on the labor market front, so 81% of employed individuals in countries work in workplace that had closures. And 38% of such were employed in at-risk sectors. So at-risk sectors meaning if you're working in a hospitality and management, in retail. So some of those stores, some of those businesses either had to suspend operations or close and fold it altogether. They've also seen a 7% decline in working hours. So imagine for some of the businesses that still continue to operate right now, given the lockdown, there's no client to service, there's no customer to work for. So they had to operate in a limited scale in order to at least keep the business afloat and also mutually beneficial to keep their employees part of the organization. On the consumer sector, so 82% of consumers are concerned about going to the bank. So if I run my business, if I have a retail industry also, I would have second thoughts of basically stepping out because of my safety as well as my family. 73% of people are doing more remote work right now in errands, everything being done online. And 63% are more inclined to try digital applications. I myself, I've used a number of digital applications in the past, but I would say I've never used it so frequently over the last 4 months compared to the last 4 years combined. Given all of those impact that we've seen that the COVID-19 brought, is this translated to shifting to remote work environments, so popularly known as work from home, and ramping up tech capabilities and digital transformation. So Paulo earlier mentioned that we need to have good infrastructure, so good DSL connection to be able to service clients and carry out the work at home. So some companies would provide or would supplement this type of requirements for their employees. Some will be self-sufficient. Apart from that, is it sustainable or doable in the long run? To be able to work from home, do you have the necessary equipment? Can the company supply you with the necessary infrastructure as well? On the opportunity, expectation, and requirement front. So I was listening through Ivy's presentation earlier, and I think she touched on a lot of very good points here. And though some of my points were quite similar. So on the opportunity front, so I would say that impacted companies will definitely bounce back and bounce back much stronger. Because these companies are global, have established global footprint. So it's human nature to be resilient. So yes, we'll get out of this stronger. And when they do it, they've learned from those challenges over the last 4 months, or maybe it could prolong to the next several months. But definitely, there are learnings to get out of it. Last but not the least, renewed loyalty and improved performance. So for those companies who experience some challenges, but opted to keep the business afloat, for their employees and for the business as well, I'm pretty sure the employees would definitely be very thankful. I could speak from experience, is I would have renewed loyalty to the company, to the organization that I'm part of. And also, I should make sure that I'm very conscientious in giving more than 101% that I can. On the expectations front, so definitely there's a large supply of potential talents after all of this pandemic is over. So a lot of people were displaced at work. A lot of companies had closed down. And when we're back to the so-called old normal, is definitely a lot of people would want to get back into the mainstream. So in return is there will be very tough competition across multiple industries. So the question that you could ask yourself is, have you positioned yourself in a very competitive manner over the last several months when we're back to that old normal? And Ivy touched on this one earlier. So look out for new skills acquired. Typically, we are known to create New Year's resolution. So I think that's human nature. I'd like to start off, let's say, reading a book, starting a workout, learning a new skill, learning a new talent. But we typically push that aside to a point that, hey, several months have passed and I haven't even completed or accomplished the thing. So don't let these several months pass by without acquiring new or necessary skills to make you very competitive once we're back to that normal stage. In my opinion, the requirements would definitely be boiled down to flexibility, conscientiousness, and perseverance. Why flexible? So I'd rather have people as part of the organization who could really work regardless of the situation. So yes, it should be mutually beneficial between the company as well as the employee. The company will provide you the necessary equipment, infrastructure, supplement expenses to a certain extent. But are you able to create an environment when you can work conducively? It's tough to be able to draw the line if you're working from home. A lot of people, maybe the younger would say, I'd like to work from home. But I was speaking with a lot of my people lately, and they even realize, sir, it's tough to be able to work from home, because I realized also I've been working more than the regular hours as opposed to when I was in the office. And people know me in Factset that I work longer hours, and yet I still work much longer hours when I'm at home, because my computer basically is on almost 24/7. I sit down, check on emails. Before I know it, been spending a lot of hours on it already. So you should be able to at least draw the line. You don't want to burn out yourself. Be able to at least achieve that work-life harmony. And when you work, make sure that really you are focused on what you're doing. So identify maybe a space or a nook at your home wherein it's a dedicated workspace. So when you're there, when you're seated, you're in the zone. So no distractions, similar to us to when you are in the office. Second, conscientiousness. So conscientiousness, I would define simply as when you do something, you ask yourself, am I doing it right? Am I yet doing it at the best capacity I can? If the answer is no, you might as well just basically look in the mirror and ask why. Why not? So you should be able to at least make sure that what you're doing is always right. It's in accordance and in adherence with the company corporate values and policies, and giving it your best all the time. Last but not the least, on the requirements is perseverance. So we will encounter difficulties. So the past 4 or 5 months have been very difficult for everybody. For those working, they're very lucky, really, the small niche of people that still working in organizations across the globe. For those who have not and have been displaced, it's tough. But there's a lot of opportunities out there. It's just being able to identify what suits you and try to work your way towards that objective. So 7 times you fall down, 8 times you get up. So where does Factset fall into in the grand scheme of all of these things? I was touching on post-pandemic situation in the Philippines. So a brief introduction. So Factset research system has been established back in 1978. So we're dually listed in New York Stock Exchange as well as the NASDAQ. So we've recorded 39 plus years of growth as a public company already. So we've had 95% client retention rate. And our client are big names across the finance industry. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Fidelity, HSBC. We have 115,000 global users that uses the Factset workstation, dotting continents across the globe. and we also have 63 offices across 24 different countries. So that speaks highly about their diversity and inclusion also in the company. So the organization was built around a motto and a mission that we'd like to solve our clients' greatest challenges with the power of collaboration. So looking at this alone collaboration, Factset is beyond being a typical company. It's a family that has drawn me into Factset when I joined close to 10 years back. So it's the environment. You're surrounded with very humble, smart, young, energetic individuals, and that will also bring out the best in you. But regardless of tenure, position, role in the company, you could reach out. There's an open door policy, and no one individual. So just a snapshot. But I'd like you guys to focus on the third goal, which is be the career destination for the best and the brightest. So far, for the close to 4 decades, Factset has always brought in really the best into the industry, from campuses, from industry hires also, to be able to maintain that high level of service to our clients. Not just the service, but the product also that we offer to our clients. This is just a snapshot of what we are as a company. So we provide data with various institutional clients, from content data sets, third-party data providers, and client portfolios. So from data integration, from clients' data and Factset company data, we manage a specific database wherein clients, organizations can come into it and do their analysis and analytics through it, for us to be able to serve two segments in the industry, the buy side as well as the sell side clients. So Factset has been regarded as the best research provider for a couple of years now. It's best also in research and analytics tool, and best in market data provider. So there's been a number of industry-leading award-giving bodies already that have recognized Factset's niche into the industry. Typically, if you would do your quick search for Factset, you would see that Factset has been regarded also in one of Fortune's best 500 companies for several years. So I think this question is quite relevant for all of this listening this afternoon. So how is Factset responding to the global situation, to the pandemic? So this was a comment from one of our clients in the middle of all of this lockdown. So we were supporting large institutional clients across the globe, from Asia Pacific, from the Americas, from Europe and Middle East. And this comment came from Tony Harding, who is the Vice President for Dominion Securities in the US. So he was saying, you guys were open when others were closed. So keep it up. So because we have what we call robust business continuity capability. So all of our employees are working from home. For those who find it quite difficult to be able to work from home, given the lack of infrastructure of ISPs, internet service providers, we have a small pool of employees that we shuttle to and from, door to door, to and from their homes, as well as the office. So employee safety is our utmost concern. Ideally, we'd like everybody to be able to be at the safety of their own homes. If not, we can definitely work with our support groups to be able to identify the best route of action for them to continue working, plus for us to be able to service also our clients and our employees. Second piece of the puzzle is our presence of global support. So we have a training that's dotted across the globe. Training is done remotely, 100% remotely. Mentoring, coaching is also done remotely. Operations right now is really across the thousands of homes globally. And so far is we never realized that we can make it happen. Right now, given the feedback from our clients, Factset has been able to maintain this high level of service in spite of working from home. Our support function teams, from human resources, recruitment, administration, finance, everybody is also working from home, and they're able to keep up with the work demands also. Last but not the least is we pride ourselves with a world-class technology and platform. So all of this is built around the Factset brand. So these 4 pillars that you see right now on the screen are the Factset advantage. But I added up a comment here. So Factset's advantage to our clients: content, analytics, technology, and services. But I look at this 4 also as career opportunity for all of you guys listening. If you have a knack for research, so everybody does research in one way or the other. We go through Google, we look at something. So if you have a knack for research, regardless of your educational background, there are dozens of opportunities from our content operations, which I also had the privilege of managing in the past. If you are of a core finance background, you love numbers, you love dealing with clients on the financial industry, we have opportunities also on the analytics front. If you are of a tech background, computer engineering, computer science, there are also opportunities in the technology front. And last but not the least, that basically encompasses all three, try to at least stick them and chain them together, is the services front, which is the group that I'm managing right now. We continue to hire in spite of the challenges of some companies opting to freeze hire, opting to cease operations. But I have upcoming multiple batches across the globe that I'd like to fill in, and we have yet to fill in a number of seats for the upcoming fiscal year coming from September 1st onwards. So again, so these are the advantages of Factset relative to the industry. But you should look at this as your opportunity across content, analytics, technology, and services. So these are just a snapshot of the awards that Factset has been recognized for across best place to work for the LGBT community, also best in terms of technology and recognized women in the technology and data space also. Regarded as UK's great place to work for. To cap it off, I would say I'd wrap it up with our people are our greatest asset. Without the people that makes up Factset right now, beyond the borders of Factset Manila, but across the 63 different offices across 24 different countries, the people are the reason why Factset is where it is right now. So to that is we're a very diverse and inclusive community. We have openings and opportunities across different departments with varied roles. So feel free to visit Factset and apply through jobs180.com/Factset in our job postings. With that, I hope everybody have a good remainder of the afternoon, and I look forward to having you on board Factset very soon. Robert?
Hi, so thank you, sir. We are actually glad to see companies like Factset that have not only persevered, but we see that like the vision, standards, and how important the people is to the company, they are not compromised. So we could see that through your presentation. It's very obvious. So thank you for that. I bet our viewers are very appreciative of that as well. So, sir, let's move on to our question and answer. I believe our tech team is ready. Oh, there you go. First question from Miss Ruth. Are you accepting practicumers under the BSCS program? If yes, how will it be possible during this pandemic?
Thank you, Robert. So in the past, so different departments have different requirements, and some smaller teams would accept practicumers right now. And I believe that opportunity is still on the table. So I think it would be best to reach out to the recruitment team of Factset to be able to identify which departments are open to accept practicumers and whether any of those departments actually is in line with your background also as a BSCS program graduate.
Okay, so I hope that addresses the concern of Miss Ruth. And I like to ask our tech team, are you going to flash more questions? If you do, please flash them now. If not, I will read out the questions I have written down here. Okay. There's someone asking, sir. You mentioned earlier about being drained from work from home jobs. So they are asking, what can you suggest for people who just started to work from home but is already experiencing fatigue or burnout?
Very nice question. So this actually is an experience that very few people anticipate or understand. They feel they had the impression that work from home basically is a walk in the park. So for people that seems to be experiencing a burnout already in a short span of working from home, I would recommend that you pause for a while. Ask yourself, what's the cause of work from home? Earlier I mentioned I realized myself working over 12 hours a day when I started working from home, more hours than I would typically be in the office. But trying to be able to pause for a while and ask myself, what am I doing? Because if you try to push yourself too much and not be able to draw the line, it's not sustainable in the long run. You may be able to do more work right now, but eventually you'll burn out and you won't be efficient anymore. Kahit na 15 hours pa yung trabaho mo, yung output mo will just be equivalent to 8 hours. So might as well just be able to at least draw the line, work 8 hours as required, sometimes stretch if necessary, but at least you're still highly efficient. Try to at least strike that balance between work and life. So typically, I wouldn't use the word balance. I'm popularly known for mentioning work and life harmony, because there will come a time that work will demand more from you. And I'm impressed with that individual who asked the question. Maybe right now the work demands more from him, but I'm pretty sure the company also will encourage him. Hey, take it slowly. Step on the brakes and maybe get some breaks, get some time off first. Even if you're unable to step out of your own home, file for that vacation leaves. File for that paid time offs and spend more time for yourself and the family.
Okay, so thank you, sir. I actually like yung term mo na work-life harmony. I see the point in using it. Sometimes talaga may isang side that will demand, but on that day lang dapat. Parang bawiin mo rin soon. Yeah, I
Yes.
appreciate that term, the work-life harmony. So proceeding to our next question, sir. We have here, with the 80% workplace closures, ano pong industries yung mananatiling active yung hiring? So, anong industries ngayon are likely to remain active sa pag-hiring?
I may not have a more an accurate list of it, but I would say the financial sector, the financial industry will continue to hire. Because why? Our clients are not solely based locally. Like I did mention, we service clients out of the Americas region, out of the EMEA region. So our clients are dotting continents across the globe. And we know in America, diba, they're not as strict as the lockdown right now. So the markets are still ongoing. Yes, some markets fall, and unfortunately, recently, the Philippines is already, or if not, on the brink of recession. But that's how market works. Sometimes you're down, sometimes you're up. So some look at it as an opportunity to be able to invest better. So some of these individuals should also invest on themselves. So some of the industries, banking, finance, research, I think I would say, in my opinion, I have peers in the technology space, engineers. Naghahanap yung mga raming companies for engineers who can really work from home, who could be just be as efficient working from home. So there's a multitude of industries, maybe more of the consumer-based, retail-based, hospitality and service are the ones impacted. So if you could make yourself flexible enough to move into a different space in the KPO or BPO space, I think that would be a good route.
Okay. So, actually, our last question is related to that, sir. So, I'll proceed with it. Given that those industries yung likely actively hiring, there's a person concerned about being a hospitality graduate. So, we know that it's uh, difficult for them right now. Paano po kung hospitality graduate ako, would you recommend that I explore opportunities in finance BPO for the meantime?
Short answer there, Robert. Thank you for the question. Yes. I'll use myself as an example. I'm not a finance major. I'm a communications degree holder. But eventually, I had a knack for business. I took up further studies. So kahit hospitality background ka, I'm pretty sure communication is also part of that training. So you have a knack for research. Everybody does research nowadays. Facebook, Google does research. So I would recommend, yes, venture into finance, uh, try to apply for that job, go through the interview process. And the worst thing that could happen, they would say is, okay, you're lacking some skills, maybe not now, and try to work on those skills and come back again.
Okay, so thank you, sir. So actually, I guess some of our viewers might be stuck na thinking that they do not appreciate na yung communication skills that they learn from hospitality can easily be applied dun sa like sa finance, like sa Factset. So thank you for
Exactly.
that. I hope our viewers are able to hear this, your answer to the question. And unfortunately, sir, we would have to stop our Q&A portion. But if some of our viewers are willing to ask, where should they address their questions? Do you have a Facebook page as well?
I don't have the information on the Facebook page right now, but definitely is they can visit the website for Factset, www.factset.com. And there's a recruitment link also to be routed to the Manila office. In terms of trying to at least apply for jobs, they can go through jobs180.com slash Factset and click through any of those job boards that we posted right now.
Okay, so thank you very much, sir. I hope that we would be able to maybe invite you in the future. Who knows? As mentioned, this is a series of videos. It's not a one-time thing. So I hope you keep your lines open so that we may be able to do this if possible. So thank you very much, sir. Uh, God
My
bless
pleasure,
and stay
Robert.
safe.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so this ends our four talks. So, thank you very much sa ating viewers for staying. Nakita ko that may mga nagsha-shout out sa atin dyan na nandito pa rin. Sila ay from, patiin ko na rin kayo, for staying with us until the end based on kung sino nag-comment pa rin. Thank you sa ating viewers that are from Dabsu, DLSP, SMCL, Bulsu, Faith, New Era, UE Caloocan, and FEU Cavite. So, yes, nababasa namin ang comments ninyo. Yes, thank you very much for staying until the end. And if meron kayong friends na hindi nakapunta ngayon, pasabi na lang that we will be posting this video as well sa aming Facebook group. And also, kapag may gusto kayong balikan na part ng speaker, pwede nyo rin silipin. Okay? So, don't forget na go to jobs180.com, check yung Inspiro, Firefly, and Factset. Use your resume link to apply. And actually, we are glad that we were able to provide speakers from different industries, meron tayong BPO, utilities, finance. Sa ating mga future na events, we will see if pwede rin ma-explore yung iba. So, naka-flash ngayon is our next MME Live is on August 20. So, save the date. That is August 20, Thursday. And again, not because hindi lang porket nandito kayo ngayon, hindi na kayo invited on. We still want to see you there because different naman yung topic. So, you would still learn from it. So, thank you very much for that. Also, if you're interested, if meron tayong school partners dyan, we are also doing this school-centered. For August 13, meron kami sa Enverga, Manuel S. Enverga University Foundation. We will be doing something like this. So, we could do this specific to your school as well. And I guess the advantage would be we could talk para sa pagpili ng topics, time, yan, papag-agreean natin yun. So that's an advantage that we could do school-centered. So again, lastly, please go to Jobs 180, check out Inspiro, Firefly, Factset, use your resume link to apply. With that said, I would like to thank everyone again for joining us today. Thank you to our contacts, sa ating school partners. Again, I bet hindi ganito kadami ang viewers natin if hindi nyo na-share sa inyong schools. Well, we hope na you were able to learn something. Hope this will encourage you to join us as well sa succeeding events. And hope that you'll be able to start making your resume link. Don't forget sa inyong resume link na i-verify nyo ang inyong account. And kapag meron na rin kayo, pwede nyo pa rin naman i-verify. So if may questions, concerns, pwede nyo i-direct sa company na sa kanila sinabi natin kanina, or kapag specific sa amin, punta kayo sa Jobs 180 Facebook page. So thank you very much. This closes our program today. Once again, this is Robert from Jobs 180. Stay safe, everyone. See you soon, and goodbye.